Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Katie Stazak. And Katie, I want to thank you for filling in for me last week, but I was worried. I got word that you did an awful good job. I want to thank you again. I was worried. I thought I was going to get a Wally Pipp situation. Come back and say, no, Ron, you just work on the backside now. So thanks again.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was great, but I missed you very much, and you are impossible to replace, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
She knows just what to say. And guess what else we got to tell you about? We have a $100,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six today. We have a 10-race card, so it starts in race number 5. And, boy, they were close to hitting it again yesterday and the day before, so it's a great wager. As you know, it's only 20 cents. Last week, Katie, I had the privilege of going up to Saratoga for the week to visit some family and got to see an incredible performance by one of our local horses, and that was in the Grade 1 King's Bishop. Fast Anna did not win, but boy, this horse ran a winning race. We're going to show you that stretch run right now.
We watched it here, and I was blown away by this horse. He under Johnny Velasquez, got a really slow pace and just drew off. He really was so impressive. He gets caught just late by the Big Beast, who is a very, very nice colt. Fast Anna coming off a maiden win and an allowance win, going right up to Saratoga from here and being second by a very close margin in a Grade 1. I am very excited about this horse's future.
Yeah, I mean, this horse is going to move way forward off that. Owned by Frank Carl Calabrese and trained by Kathy Ritvo. So Kathy Ritvo of Mucho Macho Man fame said, when are you going to get another Grade 1 winner? She didn't wait long. I mean, it didn't win yet, but this horse is really special, really fast, and as I mentioned, from the Frank Calabrese barn. So we'll get to see that horse throughout the fall and winter here right at Gulfstream Park, because that's where they are stabled. And a little later on today, we have the Monarchos, and this is for 3-year-olds. And boy, talking about special horses, we're going to show you, this horse is 2 for 2 now, undefeated. We're going to show you its first race. Now we're talking about Atreides, and this race was on July 12th. Didn't know what to expect, and watch this performance.
This is Atreides' very first start. So impressive, hard to put into words. I mean, this horse in his first start goes out and just absolutely romps, wins it by a 5 1/4 length, gets a buyer of over 100 in his first race. I mean, it went the first half in 48 2, I believe.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I got a 105 buyer. So we'll talk more about Atreides when we get to the 9th and feature race. As I mentioned, that's the $90,000 the Monarchos. But we have other races here before we get there, especially with our Pick 6 jackpot guarantee today. So let's go to the first race. This is a 7-furlong sprint. It's a claimer 3-year-olds and up. The claiming price is $8,000. Scratch the number 1, Son of Sparta, and hard not to have the number 6 on top of your ticket. But if you look at the board right now, the 5 is taking all the money in here, up there at 1 to 9, but very early in the wagering. How do you see this opener?
I think those odds are going to change very soon, especially after we start talking about Van Citra. We both have the same exacta here. Van Citra, this 5-year-old gelding, is just the hot horse in this race. He's on a 2-race win streak. He scored by 2.5 lengths in April at the 12.5 level, took a 4-month layoff, came right back and ran and won at the 62.50 level on August 16th. That was his first start for trainer Gustavo Delgado. I can only imagine he's going to be fitter off that race, and he won that day, so let's see what he does today. Yeah,
and Gustavo Delgado having a fantastic meeting. Oh, and ridden by Edgar Zayas, who just wins like 3, 4, 5 races every day, it seems here. So he's having a fantastic meeting along with Gustavo Delgado. I got the 2 Becky's Kitten in there and the 7 Repentant Prads. Going to have to go back and look at this number 5 horse, Favorite Uncle, who opens up at 1 to 9, but as we mentioned, very early in the wagering. We're going to go to the turf for the second race, and we did not mention at the top of the show, the main track is fast, turf course is firm, and guess what? It's warm here in South Florida at Gulfstream Park. You didn't know that, did you?
Nah, it's, just another day.
1 mile, 1/16, a maiden 2-year-olds. Now, jockey on the 6 is Luca Panici, also scratched. Was the horse I had on top of my ticket was the 8 Whitcomb Hill, and the reason I had that horse on the top of the ticket was the most accomplished. There are a lot of first-time starters in here, and we got a couple of horses that are by,
Kitten's Joy.
Kitten's Joy. I'm losing my mind here. Kitten's Joy. 2 of them from the Wesley Ward barn. And it looks like I scratched into both of those. And it looks like you did the same.
I did. I had Whitcomb Hill V8 at the top of my ticket. Scratch there. We'll see him another day. But you just cannot leave out the Ramseys here at Gulfstream. And you cannot leave out Kitten's Joy colts on the grass, and that's what I did. In fact, my top 3 are the 3 Kitten's Joy sons. The 2 on the top of my ticket are the ones owned by the Ramseys, and these 2 are pretty much identical. It's hard to separate them. I went with the 7 touchdown kitten. Think he has a little bit more turf in his pedigree, and I think he's just been working a tad bit better.
I just think that this second race here, you might have to go a little deeper than the obvious horses we have on top, because with the scratch of Whitcomb Hill, it really becomes wide open because a lot of these horses have not run yet. The other horse that I put on the ticket that does have experience is the one a bit quick. This one is eligible to show more after attending the pace last time out and finished 7th. Talking about great trainers and riders here at Gulfstream Park, you got trainer Mike Maker along with Edgar Zayas. So if you're looking for a horse that's got some previous experience, you might want to go with the number 1. But it's more wide open than the horses we picked on top. And if you're doing that early pick 4, you might want to go a little deeper in that race. Now our third race of the afternoon is 5.5 furlongs, maiden claimers fillies, 2-year-olds. The claimant price $35,000. We want to go back and show you a race on August 17th, and it's the horse I have on top, and I believe you too, and that's the number 5, Slindenberg.
Yeah, let's show this last race from Slindenberg. This is a $25,000 maiden claimer from August 17th. Slindenberg comes into the stretch with the lead, really is running well. She only gets caught in the final strides here. I don't even know if she really saw the horse coming on the outside because he gets in about the 5 or 6 path and just runs by at the end. You're going to see drifts back in here, but doesn't really give Slindenberg enough chance. He actually kind of has to drift back over to the rail there and loses his stride a little bit. I think she's going to be much improved today. She's improved with every start so far. Like I said, beaten just a length and a quarter last time out. And Bill Kaplan has been on fire with his 2-year-olds as of late. 19% win clip in that category right now. I think this filly is going to get better with distance, which is per usual with Bill Kaplan, 2-year-olds.
Yeah, you know, talking about good trainers here at Gulfstream Park, what about the one Fiesta Rosa, daughter of Insummation, debuting for Kirk Zadie? Check this stat out. He's a productive 9 for 17. 53% with a debut maiden claimers. The freshman shows 3 consecutive workouts out of the gate, which I like, in preparation for its debut. So got to deal with the inside post, but what a barn. They do very well with debut maiden claimers. See you have it on the ticket too. We flip-flop. We had beautiful Tashi.
Yes, beautiful Tashi is the daughter of Pomeroy. She was 4th and 5th in her first 2 starts. She really broke slowly in her debut and then had the lead and faded in her last start. She's dropping to claiming ranks for the first time, and I think her experience, her fitness, and the class relief is only going to help her cause. But quickly, just to go off of what you were saying about Fiesta Rose, she's a daughter of Insummation. Insummation in 2005 was just 1 race away from sweeping the Florida Sire Stakes, which we have our second leg coming up next week. Also, Fiesta Rose is Florida Sire Stakes eligible, so Insummation now producing Florida Stakes prodigy of his own.
Yeah, that's right. Next week, September 6th. It's already September. We will have the second leg of the Florida Sires series. So we'll see how that plays out, and we'll be letting you know more about that throughout the week. Our 4th race today, 6 furlong maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, $12,500. That's Kitten's Joy, right? The one I couldn't remember before. Kitten's Joy, yeah. How could I forget that? Okay, this race here, I went with the number 1 Scarlet Devil. I'll tell you why. Stretching out an additional half furlong today after responding to both a surface switch and a class drop, where the second place finish was the odds-on choice. That was against $12,500 maidens going 5.5 furlongs. And if you see horses changing surfaces from turf to dirt, I'm usually the guy that's around looking at those horses. But I also like the horse you put on top of your ticket, and that's the number 8 Subtle Humor.
Yeah, I like a lot about Scarlet Dell, but making her 11th start today, she just needs to show that she wants to win, and that's why I put Subtle Humor at the top of my ticket. She's making just her 2nd start for the Stephen DeMauro barn. She debuted at this level on August 9th and was 5th, but she did make a bid that day. I think she's another filly that is looking for more distance. And she's not one that's going to come flying late, but she's going to grind you down. She keeps coming, so I think distance will help her. She gets an extra 100 yards or so today. Also, first-time blinkers and Edgar Zayas.
Edgar Zayas, got to mention that every race. The 5th race, we mentioned earlier, this is where the Rainbow Six is going to start today. And do you have to decide a little later on in the Monarchos, do you single the tradies? Does this become a pick 5? And you just bet him. That's how you're going to have to wager today. A little later on, I'll show you my tickets and how I plotted it out. Was able to take all in a couple of races because I'm going to single a tradies. Not that it's any big secret. A million other people will be doing the same thing. Let's go to our 5th race, and it's on the turf. Turf course is firm, 1 mile and 1/16. Starter optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. That claiming level is $25,000, and both Katie and I started it off with number 5, Starship Avenger.
Like you mentioned, I think single leg of tradies later on is going to be a strategy that many people employ because this is a very tough opening leg of the Rainbow Six, and I think you should go very deep, if not all, in this particular race. But I did pick the same, we have the same trifecta right there, so maybe it's not as wide open as we thought. But the Starship Avenger, this 4-year-old gelding, is just a consistent runner that loves Gulfstream. He has 9 in-the-money efforts, including 3 wins here from 12 starts over this turf course, and he's really due for another win. He's been beaten a neck in each of his last 2 starts. He took the lead into the stretch and just got caught both times. We'll see if he can hold on in the final strides today, but this doesn't seem like a field that has a ton of speed that's going to set it up for a closer to come flying late. Also, Joe Bertramoffi's in the irons. He's been on board for each of this horse's last 2 wins.
And we got our track announcer, Pete's favorite horse in here, Bingo, Bango, Bongo. You'll hear him mentioning that horse today. And this one will race with blinkers off after returning from a 6-week freshening to finish 4th behind aforementioned Ship Avenger. I can't see. I forgot it. Oh, the week off has got me tongue-tied here. Joe Catanese, Jesus Rios in the saddle. Anything else in the 5th race?
I like the 5 Macho Bull. This is a very game horse that's really been asked to run with the best, and he could probably use a confidence boost. This year alone, he ran in the Grade 1 Don Handicap, the Grade 3 Skip Away, faced It's My Lucky Day in the Best of the Rest Stakes in April, had to run with Mr. Baker, Grand Shores, and Black Diamond Cat in an allowance in May. All of those are stakes winner. Then he gets claimed. He won an allowance at Calder in April. Now trainer Bruno Tessori is having him try the grass. He was 6th in his first try on the grass back on August 8th, but he was really only beaten 2 3/4 lengths, and it was his first start in 2 months, so I think you can give him a longer look in here. I'm giving him a chance just purely for the class aspect. And he also gets Edgar Zayas.
Seems like a theme that we're going to follow because in the 6th race today, which is a 6-furlong claimer, 3 and up, $6,250 each day. I pick a bet, and it is number 7 Karate Jack. This one's going to face multiple winners today after kicking away to defeat $6,250 non-winners of 3 lifetime claimers. Won that race by 4 widening lengths. Looks really tough in here. The trainer Gustavo Delgado, we already mentioned today. And what's that jockey's name again, Bean? I can't remember anything today. Oh, that's right. Edgar Zayas. So that was my best bet of the day. And but you went with the number 1, Mind Spell, and I'm liking that.
I did go with the one. I loved that last race from Karate Jack, but I'm just not sure because it's turning back a little bit quickly, but he still won it easy. I went with Mind Spell. This gelding was 3rd, beaten a half length in that 62.50 claimer on the 16th. My top 3 are all coming out of that race. He got a nice stalking trip that day, made a bid, and just fell short. He lost the photo for 2nd, and he likely got tired in the sloppy going that day. I think the addition of blinkers helped him. He keeps those today. And the start before, his last 2 starts back, he finished off the board, but still only 2 lengths behind the winner. This is a horse with stakes experience, and he's also in the hands of Safi Joseph, who is just great in claiming races. 20% win clip right now in claimers.
I'm sorry, Katie. We have the same trifecta box. So that is the 6th race, which kicks off the pick 5. We're going to flip the page, go to the 7th. 5.5 furlongs. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. I went with the 2 Ya Esta. This one's turning back to 5.5 furlongs. Returned from the layoff, broke from post 10 last time out. Got hooked up in a duel throughout and finished 2nd behind a repeat winner in that race called So Frank. That was going 3/4 of a mile. Gilberto Zerpa. He's pretty good with horses making his 2nd start after a 45 to 180 day layoff. He's 20%. And he's got this daughter of Limestone working bullets for this shorter distance. I like that. They pulled a 5 furlong work across town at Calder.
Yeah, and Yaasa is actually stakes place. She was 2nd in the Catch a Rising Star Stakes last August at Calder. So she's gone down quite a ways from that in terms of races and class. But, I mean, she still has class to do that well. She knows how to run well.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I went with the 3 Roll It Gal. This 3-year-old filly is the most lightly raced filly in this field. She won her debut at the 12.5 level back in June, but she was 4th, beaten just a length and a quarter in her first try versus winners at the $10,000 level. That was also her first time using Lasix. So she takes a slight class drop here, second start with Lasix. I think she can easily make up that length and a quarter from that loss against this company in this race.
Well, we're going to the 8th race, a mile and a 16th on the turf, an allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, and we have a couple of scratching in the 9, 5 gears. The 11 is scratched also, and we have a video we want to show you of a horse that had a pretty poor start.
Yes, my top 3 are all again coming out of the same race. This is an allowance on August 9th. You're going to first watch the 7, Giant Cat, who does not break well at all, get shuffled back. He was 15 lengths behind early. I think you have to scratch out from him that race. But here's the finish. You're going to see the 3, Balthazar, and the 6, Rompin' Reed. Balthazar really getting into a duel there with the winner. He keeps running on, misses by less than 2 lengths. Wasn't going to beat the winner that day. And then Rompin' Reed, he closes from 9th to be 3rd. And I think those are 2 really promising looking efforts that you can improve upon today. 2 starts back for Balthazar. He just missed by a head, so I think he's one that's really knocking on the door. He turned in a very nice work on Monday. He had the bullet work for 4 furlongs.
Well, the only horse we differ on in this race is I went with the 1 in the 3rd spot, and it's Steal It Back. Really a game maiden special weight winner here during May. Should have the proverbial screws tightened today. It returned from about a 2.5-month layoff. Got beat 6.5 lengths. That was against $35,000 optional claimers. At this same distance, Trainer Ralph Nix, Ramsey Zimmerman. I just think everything is looking positive for the number 1, Steal and Pack. We're going to go to our 9th and feature race, and this is the $90,000, the Monarchos, 1 mile, 3-year-olds. Scratched the 1 horse in here, Wolf Den, and guess what? We're going to show you a tradie's 2nd start, which was just as impressive as its debut. He'll show you that right now.
As we promised, here's his 2nd start and another really impressive effort. I just love the ease with which this horse does things. In this race, it really looked like he was going to have to fight and get in a duel with the horse that's in 2nd, but then he kind of just draws away easily at the end. Marty Wolfson said this. He said, it doesn't look like he's going as fast as he is. He just makes things look so easy, and that's the sign of a very classy racehorse.
Yeah, and you see the jock just shaking the stick at him, didn't really have to hit him in the stretch. Now the only unknown is how he'll translate those 2 races into its first race at a mile. It's a 1-turn mile here at Gulfstream Park. I don't see a problem. And we're getting back to the point. Is this a horseshoe single and make it a Rainbow 5, a pick 4, and a late pick 4? What do? Do you single this horse? I think that's the way I'm going to go. The other horse that in here that we both just sort of got to have on your ticket is the 3 Ponto, stretching out to a mile. Drew away to crush a field of $50,000 optional claimers. Won that race by about 10 lengths, and a previous winner at this 1 mile distance. So if Treaties should not be up to the task of the 1 mile, which I do not believe is going to happen, Pontos looks like it's the logical choice.
Well, 2 starts back, Pontos was 2nd behind Fast Anna, who we showed earlier, and then went on to be 2nd in the Grade 1's King's Bishop. So definitely a horse that you want to look at, but it's really tough for me to think anything other than a Trades winning is going to happen in this race.
And there's another horse in the race, and that's the Fortiz Marvelous, trained by Marty Wolfson, who also trains, as we mentioned, at Trades. So maybe that will end the trifecta for you there. 2nd time blinkers today. Well, our final race of the afternoon is on the turf, 1 mile and 1/16. Maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. Jockey change in here on the number 3, Make the Ride, Abdil High End. And I went with the number 6, Buckingham Gate, but you went with the 7, Mesa Way.
Consistency means a lot to me, and I think Mesa Way, this 3-year-old gelding, is the most consistent horse in this field. He's been 3rd and 2nd in his last 2 starts. Last time out, he closed from 4 wide at the $16,000 level, so he's taking a small drop in class. That was also at a mile, and he stretches out another 1/16 of a mile today, which I think is really going to help him. 2 starts back, he had the lead but was caught late by a horse named Allbrag No Fact, who came right back to win his first start against winners last week. He ran very, very well. So I think the drop in class and the extra 16th of a mile will make the difference for Mesa Way today.
I mean, depending how much you want to spend on your Rainbow Six ticket with that $100,000 guarantee. When I show you my ticket a little later on, I took all in this last race, but you can see Katie and I came up with the top 3 horses in that race, and not in exact order, but that's what you're going to have to figure out. So it should be a very, very interesting day here today with Treaties running in the Monarcos in the 9th race. We have that fast main track, firm turf course. Any closing words before we head out?
Oh, just enjoy the day. Lots of really great betting races and a very classy horse that hopefully should give us some very exciting finishes to watch today. Enjoy it all, and best of luck to you. $100,000 guaranteed jackpot pool in our Rainbow Six.
Good luck, everybody.